Hi, everybody. This is Bo Smith with Career Staffing Services. Today, I am going to be showing you how to build a presentable resume with the help of resumebuilder.com. I have used this site before, I've given it a test run, and I actually create a really good resume for myself personally. And I kind of want to go over just the steps, how user friendly it is, and you can figure this out yourself as well or work alongside with me. Okay, so first thing we need to do is whenever you're in Google or Bing or whichever search engine you use, go to resumebuilder.com. I've got it pulled up right here, and we're going to go in. And you can actually see a bunch of different things that they offer, such as resume examples, cover letter examples. You can even sign in, but to create a resume, it is actually free to use, so you don't even have to make an account with Resume Builder. We'll go ahead and go to create resume now and create new resume. Now it gives you a couple options on here. You can either create a new resume from scratch. If you use LinkedIn, I know some people do, you can upload your profile, but for just purposes for this video, we are going to go ahead and just create a new resume. Now it's going to give you several different templates right here that you can use from a bunch of different options as well. And you can also use different colors. For practicality's sake, we are just going to go with a black cover right here. And then we are going to go with a pretty basic template, I would say. Let us go with this one. Looks good. All right. What's the best way for the employers to contact you? So you are going to be putting in your heading for this first section. So just go ahead and put in your name. We will just do John Doe, for instance. Job title, you can put one in. Most resumes don't have it. If you're going for a specific niche field, then you can go ahead and put one in. For now, I'm going to leave this blank. Your profile image, most resumes do not have profile images. You can elect to choose one. I'm going to go ahead and just say don't for purpose sakes. Just want to leave it blank right there. Now, address, we're just going to put in your basic address right here. City, state, zip code. And that is all going to appear right up in this small little corner. And then phone number, (309). For those that are old enough to remember that song, hope you enjoy that joke right there. And your email address will go gmail.com. All right. You also have the option right here to show your address. So if you click off right there, it's going to get rid of that for you, and it's also just going to leave your phone number and your email. This is completely optional. Most people do put their address on here, so we'll just leave it up there for now. And then you can also choose to add your social media links or portfolio. Like I said, depends on what kind of resume you're trying to build. You can do that. For now, we're just going to leave that blank and move on to the work history. Oh, for this, I did not realize this. For Resume Builder specifically, it is wanting you to put in a job title. Right now, we're going to use a warehouse associate, for example. So let's do warehouse operations. Move on to work history. All right, now it's going to go into the work history portion of your resume. So it's going to want your job title, the company that you work for, the city and state that it's located in, and your start and end date. So let's go ahead for the job title, and we'll put Warehouse Associate 2, for example. The company is going to be ABC Moving. And we'll just say this in Little Rock, for example. And for your start date, this is going to be placed up at the very top of your resume right here. So more than likely, it's going to be your most recent job. And that's what I would encourage you to do, is put your most recent jobs first at the top of your resume, whether you're using Resume Builder or not. We'll go ahead and say we've been here since January 2020, and you currently work here. If you do currently work here, you can see where it puts present right there. And if you are no longer there, you can just put in the end date specifically. Next. Now it's going to ask you what you did at this company. Now it's showing results for Warehouse Associate 2, and you can use these prompts as just basic generic filler prompts. What I would encourage you to do, though, is make sure you have a good list of job duties that you were doing out there specifically, and what you contributed while you were working out there. I'm going to actually input my own right here. That way it kind of has some originality if you want your resume to stand out, of course. And we're going to do bullet points for this specifically. So, for example, we'll just say you created a new inventory system with their software management system out there. So let's say this created a new inventory system using WMS software. And how did this contribute? You can just put down that sped up production by 10%. If you hear my dog in the background, I apologize about that. We'll also put trained and supervised 15 employees in your station. Ensured safety protocols were met while on the job. And then you also want to put some metrics in as well, kind of like that first point, just saying that obviously you were loading pallets, but how many pallets were you loading a day or in your shift, that sort of thing. So we'll just go. And you can also put in whatever you want. It doesn't necessarily have to be this detail oriented. It helps if you do have some metrics to prove, but if you're just listing off basic responsibilities, that's fine as well. So we'll go ahead and do next on this. And it's going to show what this is going to look like as far as your first job history right here. And we'll say, for clarity's sake, that you've worked at 2 different jobs recently or in the last few years. So we'll put in the next job on here, which is going to be just a general laborer. And then we'll go with company name XYZ Distributors. Also in Little Rock or wherever you wanted to do that. And then, of course, like I said, you want to put your most recent job first. We'll say this was before ABC Moving Company. So January of 2018 to, excuse me, right there. December of 2019. Next. And once again, it's going to ask what you did at this job specifically. Just to go ahead and look through, you can still see over here showing results for general labor, and it's going to give you maybe some prompts that might be useful. We'll just go ahead and do this on here. That way it saves me a little bit of time. That way I'm not kind of coming up with stuff off the top of my head as well. Or here, we'll just do one, for instance, right here. Let's just say accident free for 2 years for during duration of employment. And we'll go ahead and skip next because you get the general idea of that. Okay, so this is going to be your work history right here. And of course, if you have more work history under your belt, always put more. I'd say at least the last 5 years of work history, if it's been solid. If, of course, if you've been with the company for a long time, you don't have to put as much down. So next, we'll go on to education. For example, we'll just go with Central High School, Little Rock. And then since it was a high school education, we'll just go with high school diploma. And of course, if you went to college or did some sort of higher education, you can obviously put this in here. And this is going to be a list of what is available on Resume Builder. Now, if you have a more specialized skill set, let's say you were a journeyman plumber or anything like that, you can do that outside of your Resume Builder, and you can put that in there as well. For now, we'll just stick with the high school diploma. Since it was high school, you don't necessarily need to do a field of study. And what I would do for high school specifically is put when you graduated. So we'll go with May, well, since General Labor was 2017, clarity's sake, we'll just do May of 2017. And of course, if you are still going to school, you can go I currently study here, and that will change that right there. Now I gotta fix this back again. Next. And then, of course, it's going to give you the review on here. If you want to add additional education, maybe something else you did outside for some sort of certification, you can do that as well. All right, next is going to be your skills section. So what skills do you want to highlight whenever you're going for warehouse operations? Now, this is going to be stuff that you obviously know, and we are going to be putting what one might know if you are a warehouse associate. For example, let's say you've been working in a warehouse, you know forklift training, so you are forklift certified or have been previously forklift certified. Obviously, you can get it again. Add one more. And you'll just go down here and continue to add on here. OSHA certification, for example, we'll just say that. And because we had put on ABC Moving Company that we supervise, we'll just say management. And if you know any additional softwares, kind of like what we have put previously, you want to list those as well too. So put down any computer skills that you think might be useful for your job, whether that is with accounting, with warehouse management, anything of those natures, you're going to do that. We'll go WMS software, and we'll call that good. And we'll skip on to your summary. Briefly tell us about your background. Now, this is going to be what is listed up here. Now, this is, I would say, completely optional. I don't always care to see this in a resume. I think it's just a little bit of fluff and not, but you can also include it on there as well, especially if you are going for a specific job. So, for example, we'll just go ahead and put something in here just as a brief description. All right, and that's just a basic overview of what goal you are trying to set for yourself and what your experience is specifically. Now, go on to extra sections. Now, this is going to be just anything else you want to add, any filler, fluff, anything that you might think of. So, if you have specific accomplishments, such as kind of what we had recognized for doing work, such as staying accident free for a couple of years, you can add that on there. Affiliations could be something specific like the OSHA certification, or if you are studying for, let's just say, human resources and you are part of the senior human resources division. Sorry, I cannot think of what it is off the top of my head. SHRM is the shorthand for it, so you can put that on there as well for something along those lines. Volunteer work is also an optional thing that you can put on there. Software you can also add on here. And certifications, of course, forklift certification, OSHA certification, that sort of thing. If you know multiple languages, you can also add that on there. And interest, I would refrain from putting on there. It's up to you if you really want to just kind of let your personality show. That's not going to be the main thing that is going to be the attractant on your resume. Software, we'll just go ahead and add in there since I had previously put that under key skills. We'll go ahead and just knock that off on there and add this under software. So WMS software. And for the sake of it, we'll just add a little bit more filler on here. Microsoft Excel as well. Next. And at any point you can save, but I went ahead and clicked next, and this is going to show what your complete resume is on here. Now, once you have this, it will show you what your overall resume is going to be. This is a little bit smaller than what your average resume is. What you want to aim to do is try to make it at least one page. It doesn't necessarily have to fill the entire page, but as long as you're staying within that one page, that would be perfect. If it goes on to 2 pages, for me personally, I can understand. I think that is fine, especially if you have good experience. You want to show off as much as you can. What I would caution you to do is not to go beyond 2 pages if at all possible. The more pages you add on there, the more a hiring manager is going to look on there and be like, okay, this is just a lot too much. I just want to know the main gist of what you have done, and then we can move on from there. Now, once you have gotten the resume that you want to do, you have your options. You can either go ahead and print this off, or if you're using this on your home computer or laptop, you can go ahead and download it right here. Now, that is up to you. And what I have found too is that even though you don't have a login for Resume Builder, if you have used it previously, you can go back in on the same computer you used and it will actually still save that prompt on there. Just to be safe, you want to go ahead and maybe make a sign up page or at least save it on here. That way you have the option in case you walk away from it, need to come back to it later, make any changes. You have that ability to as well. But that is going to be basically how to create a resume using Resume Builder. And as you can see right here too, it is a very clean looking resume. It looks professionally done as well. And this is going to be something that really stands out because most people, whenever they do make resumes, they tend to do it themselves. Some people are just not as good at making resumes, so it's okay if you use a service to do it or use a free app like Resume Builder to help get you through it because it can make the difference in standing out amongst your competition. This has been Bo Smith with Career Staffing Services. As always, if you have questions, please make sure to reach out to us at service@cssar.com, or you can always give us a call at 501-801-8061. We'd be happy to talk with you, answer questions, and most importantly, get you out to a job that you'll enjoy. Thanks again, guys.